Anti-consumerism is more fulfilling than consumerism. Corporations want us to think that the more we buy, the happier we'll be, but it's simply not true. Now, I'm not really talking about being a minimalist now because I think that has its own problems, but in practice, I guess it would be similar. I think the main thing is having a mindset shift from thinking that buying something is going to give you some sort of lasting effect on your happiness. I think we've all probably had an experience where we wanted something for a very long time and we get it, and then we feel super great for a few days or a few weeks or a few months, and then it's just your car or whatever, whatever it is. So we're very bad at self-regulating this desire for these consumerist actions, I guess. And I think there is real power in rejecting a system that promises satisfaction but never delivers on it. I see a lot of people, myself included and some of my friends, trying to fill some sort of void or find a meaning in what we're doing. And a lot of people turn to, buying things. And a lot of times you don't even know where the money goes. Like, I had a few years in my early 20s where I spent basically everything that I made on stuff. And I look back on those years and I'm like, what did I even spend it on? I don't know. I mean, I guess there's stuff like food and stuff like that, but it's just crazy how we expect these things and they just don't deliver. Now, about 2 years ago, I course corrected, these habits of spending on whatever I wanted. And I kind of went fully in the opposite direction and got very locked down with my finances and stuff like that. And I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily a whole lot happier, but I'm not less happy, which is very interesting. I think there is a lot of power in having this sort of mindset. Having control over our lust for more and it's human nature to want more and secure our place, in our society, but in the modern age, it's been taken too far, I think. It's like that famous quote from Fight Club where he says the things that you own end up owning you, essentially. And there's also practical considerations. I've had to move recently, and moving a bunch of stuff is such a pain. Like, moving on its own sucks, but moving a lot of stuff would not recommend it. The worst part, I think, about this lifestyle that's so popular right now is that nobody can really afford it. We're at record levels of debt, personal debt. The median individual debt, I have the figure here, it's $63,000. That's the median individual debt. That's an absurd amount of money. And most people don't even have a solid plan on how they're going to repay it, how long it's going to take. It's just hanging over their heads, compounding, getting larger and larger. I know that people feel, trapped and powerless in these situations, but I think there's also a mindset that it's so normalized to have this debt that you almost don't have an incentive to lock down and get out of it. And some people, I feel like, don't even acknowledge that it's possible. It's unfortunate because there's a lot of relief in living debt-free, not have something like that hanging over your head, even if it's normalized. And to be clear, I'm talking about $1,000 car payments, which is pretty close to what the average car payment is. I'm talking about buying a house that's way bigger than is needed. Like my friend recently, he bought a half a million dollar house for him and his wife, and I don't think they even plan to have kids. Like, we don't need 4-bedroom homes when people are only having one kid on average in the US. I don't know. I just think that there is a mindset that needs to be shifted if people want to start being fulfilled. And like I said, I don't know if I said this, but fulfillment for me comes from experiences with the people that I love and that love me. And if we can take that money that we're putting into these consumerism things, I mean, obviously the debt is a situation, but we can redirect some of this into experiences. And I think that would be a far better investment that you will remember for far longer than, the stuff that we buy. Anyway, I'm kind of rambling. This is probably not very interesting to listen to, but I just kind of wanted to talk about that.